Sorry about the late time. It's a long day. Okay. Nuna Murav Shwartov Etive Ki Pol Hano film menu. They asked the question, Rahman, the Pasuk says that if someone makes a fence, it is halacha that you should make a ma'aka. You have to make a fence for your house. Because someone could fall from it. Sounds like you can only have a isur to make sure you have a fence, only when you can fall from it, but not into it. Okay, it's not how do you fall into a roof. I said if public property is 10 tvachim higher than your property, then you can fall from it into your roof. Patur, then you're patur from ma'aka. But if it's lower than your roof, then you are chayav. He said that you might think that there is such a thing that if you are chayav for an impact under 10 tvachim, the Rav Nachman said, how can many times? It should even be less. Mar says, if the structure of the house is under 10 tvachim, it's not considered a house. You won't be chayav. Even now, when the house is 10 tvachim tall, you have a 10 tefach house. If you're taking away the beams and the plaster from that's the roof. You no longer have 10 tvachim. Should be 8. It's true. That technically is true, but if you dig out from the ground that amount of space, let's say it's 2 tvachim, then you back at 10. Even if the outside is not 10 tvachim, even if you have a 5 tefach house, if you dig 5 tvachim deep into your house, then you can still have a 10 tefach house. Sabar Nachman holds, how much space is it from the ox's belly to the ground? He says, 4 tvachim. Arita de la Kalahari, how deep is an irrigation canal? Shita 6 tvachim. Ha'asara. That's 10 tvachim from the belly to the canal. Therefore, when the ox strikes the bottom of the canal, 10 tvachim, 4 of it, 6 of the canal. So we see that it works. That said, a 10 tefach bor kills. Why say 10? Say 6 could kill. Where it says, referring to it rolled into it. So it wasn't a standing position where it has that 4 tefach of room from its belly. Rather, it's falling from its head because it's rolling in there. That's why it needs full time. Okay. A board that had 2 partners. Look, so the first guy passed it, didn't cover it. Look, he's on the second guy passed it, didn't cover it. The second guy is responsible. Amri, they say, how do you have a partnership of 2 of a board? Makes sense. According to that board is referring to private property. A board is private property. The courtyard belongs to both of them, and the pit belongs to both of them. And they made the property ownerless, and they made the board not ownerless. But if we hold that board is in the private domain patur, right? How do you 2 people own something in Rabin? Or if they both hired 2 people, they hired someone to go dig a pit for them, but when that guy dug it, and there's no such thing as shliach t'varad. So generally, if I make a shliach, that guy is considered my extended hand. I give a guy money to be Mekadesh a woman for me, he can do it for me. For an Avirah, the responsibility doesn't transfer. If you tell someone, go kill someone, that guy does it, he's hayab. One guy did 5, another guy did 5. The second guy who did 5 takes over the first 5. This makes sense according to Rabbi regarding injuries. You can say the easy answer for shutafin. But according to Rabbi and Mita, the Rabbanan torn to Rabbanan with death or nizakin. How can you find a case where both are sharing the liability? If they both dug a pit 9 tvachim deep, and then the 10th tefach they dug out together. Therefore, they are partners, quote unquote, in the 10 tefach pillar board. My Rabbi Rabbanan. What does Rabbi Rabbanan? What's it talking about? Tanya. Whether one guy does 9, other guy completes it to 10, the second guy Rabbi says, the last guy who's digging it is chayav. But both of them are chayav for injuries, right? So first opinion holds the second guy is responsible for everything. Second opinion holds that the second guy is responsible. The second rabbi holds that the second guy is responsible for death, but they're both chayav for damages. My time they don't have to hold that. You dig or you uncover. If you're chayav for uncovering, of course you're chayav for digging. Rather teaches you that when the 10th tefach after the 9th tefach is like Maaseh is shown, he removes his actions. He's taking over the pit. The Rabbi says, no, I know it's Mitzvah Tzrichi, those pieces both needed. I mean, like I mentioned earlier on Daf Nun. How does the Ranan explain the Pesukim? When the man digs a bore, it says one man, ish, not two people. It can't be the case that we said before of two. But the Rabbi said, that man ish is teaching you ish bor below shore bor. The man has to dig it, not an ox. Rabanan today ish bor ktivi says not a problem. I have two Pesukim that ish bor, and therefore both works. Rabbi Hakim always the second one. I did the ktav hai. Since mentioned ish bor the first time, the second time also says ki ish bor. Okay. How do we know that the pasuk according to Chamim teaches you the second guy is chayav? Maybe the first guy also chayav. Body of the animal should be his. The guy who's causing the death is the one who keeps the body. We had that pasuk for something else. If an ox that was pasul as a korban fell into a bore and died, patur, the owner of the bore patur, it only works when the animal belonged to the guy, but this guy did not own the animal. It was pasul for hekdesh, and he couldn't own it. He was just waiting for the animal to die. So therefore, we need this pasuk to tell you that animal is patur. Where it says, we see from that concept that in that concept, the reason why he doesn't keep it is because the animal didn't belong to him. But in general, the carcass doesn't belong to him. Right? So interesting, very, very beautiful way of putting it. How the guy we use that, even though that pasuk was used for something else, we still are able to infer it for our halacha. I thought it was beautiful. Number 9. Whether the one guy digs 10 tefachim, then the guy makes it 20. The other guy makes it 30. For damages. One guy dug 10, another guy came and plastered its walls, making it smaller a little bit, and also causing more fumes. The second guy chayav. So we see that not necessarily goes by 10, and not necessarily going by fumes. What's going on? Maybe the first opinion is according to the Bright according to Rabbi, and the second opinion is Rabbanan. Both opinions of Rabbanan. The only time where the Hamid said that the second way you have people combining to dig a pit, and the second guy's chayav. And when the first guy didn't make a full-on killer 10 tefach pit. But in the case where the first guy did make a 10 tefach pit, I feel Rabbanan would say that even if the other guy adds to it or doesn't make to it, the first guy would still be chayav and damages. Whereas he didn't do anything, he just plastered it. The Ka'avid Kama Daf. The first guy made a killer bore, the second guy just plastered it. Why is the second guy just as responsible as the first guy? Or worse. Where it says Amri, Hatam there we're talking about there's not enough fumes to kill it. The second guy brought enough because of the plaster, he brought fumes to kill it. Amri. Both according to the and that Breita says that both diggers are chayav. In the second case, where the second guy is chayav, where when he finished digging, there was not enough noxious fumes to cause damage or death. And the second guy who added the fumes, the plaster, caused the fumes to grow, to kill, or to damage. Therefore, he's chayav. And the guy put a 1 tefach stone on the edge of the pit, therefore making the pit 10 tefachim deep. It's a machloket. Shita, of course. What's the difference in adding one on top or one on the bottom? Same as before. Rather than you might think, when he's adding a tefach in the bottom, he's adding noxious fumes from the deeper part of the pit. That's killing. But the malado about the putting a stone on top, that's not adding fumes. Maybe Chachamim would agree that you're not chayav. Mashmalan, if we're saying there are chayav. I mean, I ask a question. Ask a question. Tam tefach. If someone dug a 10 tefach pit and he filled it with a tefach of dirt, Vesilek avanav, or he removed the stones. Meaning, if the guy who made it the 9 tefach pit into 10 tefach pit, then took away his last tefach, putting it back to 9, or the guy added another tefach on top to make it 10, then took away the stone, does that redo? Does that make the 9 tefach go back to the first guy, or he's still chayav once it's chayav? Okay, cool. Bor 8 tvachim deep, umehen 2 tvachim mayim, and the 2 tvachim are filled with water. Chayav, the guy is chayav. My time, why? Called tefach the maya ketred yamashana. Every tefach of water is equal to 2 tvachim of dry land regarding to fumes. Therefore, 8 plus 2 is chayav. Ibaylahu bor tish'am hen tefach echad mayim. If someone built a 9 tefach and 1 tefach is water, mahu mi amrin kevin the lona fishim yalla mebehalabah. Since maybe not enough water, it shouldn't be the same thing as the equivalent of the 10 tefach pit or the 8 plus 2 tefach. Well, do you know kevin the amik tve 8 lehavla? Maybe since it's deeper than 8, there's still fumes. Another question. 7 plus 3 water. Mahu. Maybe since there's more water, then it's more fumes. Or maybe since it's not as deep, not enough fumes. Teku. What if the guy made the pit wider? He didn't make it deeper. Maybe patur, because now there's less fumes. You cause the animal to fall in easier. If you're making it wider, that means the animal has a higher chance of getting damage. You brought damage closer. So let's see what killed the animal. If the fumes killed the animal, then it's not his fault. If the impact killed the animal, then yes, truly caused the animal to easily fall in. Let's see where he widened it from, where it fell. If it fell from the side where he widened it from, it is a problem. If it fell from the other side, not his fault. It's marked. Regarding a pit that's depth is equal to its width. One say, there's still fumes. Until the width is greater than the depth. Until the depth. There's no fumes unless the depth is bigger than the width. The first partner passed by and didn't do anything, and the second guy passed and he's chayav. At what point is the first guy patur? If the second guy passes it, you're patur. When is the first guy patur? One says, the first guy is patur when he's leaving and the second guy is using it. As kids, you always tell your sibling if he has like the milk, you use it last, your problem. Until he hands the cover to him. So he finishes it, you hand the cover to the second guy, now it's the second guy's problem. Right, so if you hand the cap of the milk to the second sibling, then it's his problem. Someone's drawing water from the bore. He said, second guy comes, leave me the thing and I'll draw. Once the second guy leaves the second one using it, the first guy leaves the second guy using it, he's patur. He has to hand him over the cover. Yaakov holds such a concept with Brera. So the gentleman who's been on there for a while know what Brera is by heart by now. Brera is a retroactive halachat, a retroactive thing taking place. So over here, you have 2 guys using the same water. So now, let's say they're partners in the water. Do we look at it that when the guy is taking his time at the bore, is he using his own time? Is he using his own bore? Or he's sharing it from the other guy? So there's 2 ways to look at it. Way number 1 to look at it without Brera is, no, they're borrowing from each other. This guy is taking his portion, the other guy takes his portion against the other guy. However, Brera means that if I'm here taking my portion, that was always my portion, and I'm taking my specific thing that I have ownership to. And when he does his time and his thing, he'll take the same thing. We'll see it more shortly. And therefore, how do we say that there's Brera, we say that the first guy is drawing water with his own portion of the well. But how many the second guy is drawing water with his portion of the well? Since he's not borrowing from the first guy, I'm taking my water, he's taking his water. I don't have to take responsibility of the bore. So I shouldn't be chayav. Therefore, when the guy is borrowing, I'm borrowing the right from the bore. So therefore, if I'm borrowing the bore now, it's my responsibility to cover it. Ravina says, they go according to the unreasoning of Brera. The time. Two partners that are making that they said they cannot have hana'ah from each other, meaning they're not to benefit from each other. And therefore, they both on a court, they both can't go into the chaser because there's no Brera. That's hana'ah. This guy can enter his and this guy can enter his. Meaning, when this guy is walking in, he's walking on his portion, the other guy walks in, he's walking in his portion. What's the machloka? Based off of Magdim, I hold the Brera, they're each going into their own portion. No such thing as Brera, and therefore they can't walk in at all because they're benefiting from each other. Someone sells a pit to his friend. Once he hands over the cover, he acquires it. What's the case? If you're buying it with money, you should be acquiring the bar with money. If you're acquiring with hazakah, let him acquire hazakah, let him break something, let him build something. That's hazakah. Why cover? Really, it's case of hazakah. When it's true, we're doing hazakah, and how do you do hazakah over here? By handing him over the cover, that's like the hazakah, like handing over the deed. And therefore, when he tells him to take the cover, that's the hazakah taking place. Rabbi Shimon Levi, similar concept from Mocher Bayit Lachadro, some selling a house to his friend. Once he hands him over the key, the guy gets the house. What's the case? If you're selling it money, like the kaspa, he acquired money. You hazakah, like hazakah, you hazakah. Really, it is hazakah. He's telling him go do hazakah. When doing the key, that is the hazakah. Much like selling a flock to his friend. Whenever he hands him over the mashkuchit, which literally means the thing that's like the thing that draws the flock, right? We'll see what it is soon. He acquires it. So what's the case? If it's bringing, you have to do meshicha, kinya meshicha, drawing an ear, like meshicha, draw an ear. If mesirah, you hand it over, like mesirah, hand it over. The Gemara says same to the answer. Lilam meshicha is referring to drawing an ear. By the Gemara, lech meshicha, Vakani telling him do meshicha, became mashkuchit. And once he hands over the mashkuchit, kiman damale lech meshicha Vakani, dami. That's like telling him do meshicha. My mashkuchit. What is mashkuchit? What's the thing that draws the flock? Hacha tirin mukarkashta. In Babylon, in Babel, it learns that as the bell, which is the shepherd's bell that they ring and everybody follows after him. It is referring to the goat that leads the flock, and the animals follow that goat. So if you hand over that goat, that's like handing over the whole flock. That Rabbi learned. When the shepherd's angry with his flock, he blinds the leading goat. It's a euphemism, unfortunately for people. God is referred to as the shepherd over here, and when God's upset with Bnei Israel, he'll blind the goat, the leaders who are leading them astray. Mishnah, Kisawa Rishon, the first guy covered the pit after he used it. Bashani, once the second guy came and found it uncovered. Below Kisawa, he didn't cover it. Hashani Hayav, the second guy's Hayav because he didn't cover it. Kisawa covered it, but the first guy, if a guy covers his pit properly, and an ox or donkey falls inside, patur. Loki said, but if they didn't cover it properly, and the donkey fell inside, chayav is chayav. The animal fell forward because the person was digging, chayav. The owner of this chayav. He fell backward, patur. We'll explain what that means. An ox fell with the utensils and it broke. When the donkey fell with utensils and it tore. Chayav on the animal. If the ox of a chashu falls inside, chayav. Ben or bat, if a young boy or girl falls inside, evid or amar, or shivcha, patur, you are patur. Stop here.